Hi girls, welcome to lesson 10 with Miss Martino. Our focus today is going to be on paper 2, question 4. So today you're going to need your booklet, a writing pen, and once again it's always great to have a dictionary with you as well. If you need to go and collect those things, please do so and then we can move on. For today's Do Now task, you need to reread source A and B from the previous lessons. Once you've done this, complete this diagram in your workbook. In the middle overlapping part, jot down the similarities in terms of the writer's techniques and how they present the treatment of dogs. Press pause to do this and then press play when you're ready to move on. Today's lesson objectives are to practice using the skills required for question 4, which is to compare both texts and analyse the writer's methods. And we're also going to learn to plan perceptive points and quotes effectively for the extended answer for question 4. Question 4 on the GCSE paper is worth 16 marks and is testing you on your ability to compare both sources and to analyse the writer's methods and use of language. This question for question 4 asks you to compare how the writers of both sources convey their different perspectives on the treatment of dogs. Read the model responses in your workbook for question 4 and highlight all the effective features that have been used. While you're highlighting, you should be looking for effective and comparative phrases and sentences, well-selected quotations, and perceptive explanations that comment on the writer's techniques and use of language. Press pause on the video now to read the responses and identify these features, and then press play when you're ready to move on. The model responses shown have been written by students. As you can see on this slide, these students have used a range of features throughout the response. Take some time now to ensure your annotations match up with this. Press pause on the video to do that, and then press play when you're ready to move on. For activity 2, you need to make notes about each writer's perspectives or ideas about the treatments of dogs. In the second column, you need to write down the writer's methods or techniques that have been used. Make sure you use quotes and include quotes to support each point. Press pause to complete this activity and then press play to move on. Some top tips for question 4. So what's important to remember is that you need to use the whole of source A and the whole of source B. You have to select a range of relevant quotes from each source and make sure the quotes are not too long. It's important that you compare throughout your answer, so you have to use comparative phrases and connectives. In your PEE paragraphs, you're analysing the writer's use of language, techniques, and structure, and it needs to be done in detail. Analyse the writer's use of tone and the effect. So, for example, does the tone change within the text? You should spend around 20 minutes writing your answer to question 4. But before you begin your answer, make sure you plan your points and select the quotes you're going to be using. When you're writing your answer to question 4, this is the success criteria you should focus on. When thinking about the structure of your response, you should use the structure on this slide for each point you explore. So starting by having a comparative sentence, a PEE on source A, followed by a connective phrase, and then a PEE for source B. In your next lesson, you're going to put all of this knowledge from the last few lessons to the test. You will complete a practice GCSE for questions 2, 3, and 4. I'd like you to spend the rest of today's lesson revising the content covered in the last few lessons to prepare for your assessment. As always, if you have any questions, please make sure you get in contact with your teacher. Thanks again for your hard work today, girls. I'll see you next time.